No, sir.
What?
You are in custody right now. If you leave the courtroom, it's a felony escape.
That's a felony to put me in custody because you have no authority or jurisdiction or standing.
No, sir. You're the one in custody right now. If you leave this courtroom, that would be felony escape. It's a felony to place me in custody because you have no authority, no jurisdiction, and no legal standing.
Okay, so you failed to appear for court multiple times in this case.
Your Honor, just for the record, the named defendant is actual property, a registered trade name. And the case has also been certified as a fraud. I have court-certified documents to prove that. That should be on the record, and that's the reason why it was certified to be a fraud, because the plaintiff is a foreign-owned private corporation, which I have no contract with, and neither does the registered trade name. And the registered trade name has been used without authorization and permission, and there's an act of identity theft, and that's probably one of the reasons also why the state has acquiesced that both cases are a fraud. Let me add one more piece of information. I am a foreign sovereign with respect to the privately owned foreign corporation known as the state of Washington.
Oh yes, on the 303 matter, Mr. Haywood was sentenced to serve 4 days in jail. He failed to report to the jail on June 29, 2020. June 29, 2023, and we're asking him to be taken into custody to serve that time.
No objection, Your Honor. I actually contacted the jail to make special arrangements to deliver the defendant with the special arrangements to not damage the paper, and the jail refused. So I attempted to deliver the defendant, and objection, the state has no standing as they are representing a privately owned foreign corporation, and the prosecutor is not licensed to practice law in this country.
Your Honor, for the record, the name listed as the defendant is a registered trade name and my property. This case has been court certified as fraudulent, and I have the documents to prove it. The plaintiff is a foreign-owned private corporation, with whom I have no contract. My trade name has been used without consent, constituting identity theft. That's part of why the state has acknowledged the fraud. Additionally, I am a foreign sovereign in relation to the private corporation known as the state of Washington. Regarding the 303 matter, Mr. Haywood was sentenced to 4 days in jail but did not report on June 29, 2023. Objection. I contacted the jail to make special delivery arrangements for the defendant, but they refused. The state lacks standing, and the prosecutor is not licensed to practice law in this country.
Okay, so I think it's the 303 that he was convicted and ordered to do jail, and you believe that he didn't comply with jail because there's a docket entry that said defendant complied with jail. Maybe that was an error.
That was probably my attempt to deliver the defendant to the jail, but they refused. And just to clarify, the defendant only exists on paper, just as the plaintiff only exists on paper. The jail refused the paper, and here we are today. And the state still hasn't been standing yet, by the way, as well.
So, Mr. Haywood, it doesn't look like you did the sentence on the 303 matter, and so I am going to quash the warrant. However, I am going to have you serve that time.
Okay, well, I'll deliver the paperwork to the jail. That's fine. I tried to once before, but they refused it. And just to clarify, I'm not the defendant. There is nothing on there, nor there's any testimony from anybody as first-hand witnesses under penalty of perjury that I am the defendant. And I've uploaded plenty of documentation to prove I'm not the actual defendant. That is a registered trade name, matter of public record, and registered with the state. So if you want me to serve some jail time, then we're going to need to change who the defendant is, because I'm not the defendant.
All right, so can you upload a new commitment?
Yes, sir.
And the reason they couldn't put my name on there as a defendant is because I'm a foreign sovereign with respect to the corporate entity known as the state of Washington, which I have no contract with.
Well, you had your day in court on the 303 matter. You had a trial. You represented yourself or the defendant, whichever way you want to say it, but you represented the defendant yourself, and you were convicted, and you were ordered to serve 4 days in jail. You didn't do that, and so
defendant was ordered to serve 4 days in jail. And I attempted to deliver the defendant to the jail, but the jail refused.
Okay, well, I'm going to make sure that they don't, because I've done a new commitment for you today so that they won't refuse for the defendant to serve that time. You're going to serve those 4 days, and then you'll be released, and nothing more will happen on that 303 case. Will be done. And then this case will be heard August 24th at 10:30 in the morning. If you change your mind about representing yourself, then you can ask for help if you want it. If you don't want help, we don't have to have it. So we'll see you in August. I'm going to have you take a seat right over there.
I will be here for the defendant on August 34th. Would you like me to deliver the defendant to the jail?
I would like you to sit over there.
Is there any standing
With
or
the defendant.
jurisdiction chosen, proven here yet?
Please go take a seat.
Yes, I'll let the record reflect no jurisdiction has been proven.
Your Honor, for the record, the name listed as the defendant is a registered trade name and exists only on paper, just like the plaintiff. I am not the defendant, and there is no sworn testimony or admissible evidence identifying me as such. I've provided documentation confirming this trade name is my property and is registered with the state. In the 303 matter, I attempted to deliver the defendant to the jail, but the jail refused to accept the paperwork. The docket entry claiming compliance likely reflects that attempt. I have no contract with the state of Washington, which is a foreign-owned private corporation. I am a foreign sovereign in relation to that entity, and no jurisdiction, standing, or authority has been lawfully established here today. If any sentence is to be enforced, it must reflect the proper legal party. Otherwise, it constitutes misidentification and fraud.
And neither has the identity of the defendant definitively been established.
Okay, please go take a seat. Sonia Sesko, customer 23102. Mr. Haywood, sit down.
Am I obligated to follow these rules?
You are going to sit down right now.
Do you have any jurisdiction? I don't believe you have any jurisdictions been proven yet. Are you threatening with violence? You don't have authority over the defendant. You have authority.
Mr. Haywood?
I got things to do.
No, sir.
What?
You are in custody right now. If you leave the courtroom, it's a felony escape.
That's a felony to put me in custody because you have no authority or jurisdiction or standing. You got some proof of that?
Okay, well, we are all being recorded, so if you leave this courtroom, it'll be a felony escape charge. Your choice.
Okay, well then, there's a best interest in the best interest of peace. In regards to your violence, I will go ahead and relax for a minute, but let's see what I got things to do. Got it?
What was that just thrown?
Keys.
Do you know that person?
Yeah, no voice.
Okay. All right. So thank you. Mr. Haywood has been very disruptive. He tried to leave the courtroom once he was placed in custody. So just FYI, be careful with him.
So, give me a break. Can I just see just need to see it, thank you. Can I see who's being put into custody, please? I just need to see the name. I just need to see the name of the person. Okay, that's not me, that's the problem. That's not me. The name is saying, but that's my registered trade name. I got all that documentation right here. You want it? Okay. Yeah. This is the defendant, technically.
If you want that, I can still put everything. One second. That's taken care of. Did she file a notice of appearance?
I will make sure that she does, Your Honor.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't had enough coffee yet today. So yeah, no, you've got Ms. Bradshaw, so that's fine. You don't need to do those forms. But she does need to file a notice of.
Your Honor, the identity of the defendant has never been definitively established. I'm not the defendant. The name listed is a registered trade name, and I've submitted documentation confirming that. Am I obligated to follow these rules? Has jurisdiction been lawfully proven? Because unless you can prove standing, authority, or jurisdiction, you have no legal basis to compel me. Are you threatening me with violence for asking a question? I'm simply stating, you have authority only over the defendant, and I am not that party. If you claim I'm in custody and attempt to detain me, that would be unlawful. In fact, placing me in custody without proven jurisdiction, standing, or authority is a felony. Do you have any proof of lawful jurisdiction? If I leave the courtroom, you're claiming it would be felony escape. But that only applies to someone lawfully in custody. I'm on record disputing the identity of the defendant, and the court has not proven otherwise. For the sake of peace and to avoid escalation, I'll comply temporarily. But I reserve all rights and do not consent to this process under threat or duress. I've got things to do, so let's move this along. Also, someone threw something in the courtroom. That's my associate, not a threat. And finally, just to reiterate, I need to see the name on the custody paperwork. That's not me. That's my registered trade name. I have the documentation to prove it. If you're moving forward with this, the court must correct the party named on record.